No knowledge, welcome you in. You know who I am. I'm FSU Rob, and this is no knowledge where every day is FSU day. First off, guys, I want to say I am so thankful to be able to make this video for you guys. FSU won, and I really, really wanted to stick it to you guys. Um, I had people chirping at me all weekend about how we barely win. You're saying trying to discount our wins. You're trying to say this. You're trying to say that. Clemson wasn't ranked. Yada yada yada. We took care of business. This was the first time we won in Death Valley since 2013. 2013 was our last national championship. So I'm just thankful to be here talking to you guys. It would have been really crazy had we lost, but I don't have to worry about that because it was FSU Day and we won. So let's jump right into it, guys. Let's jump right into the Clemson game. This was a grown up win. FSU really came of age on Saturday. Last year, we lose that game by 3 touchdowns because players were quitting, players were, you know what I mean? It was just a beautiful thing to see how we fought back through every bit of adversity that we had to go through. That's a grown man win. That's one of those wins you can look at and be like, we came in here and we took it. That's what we did. We went into Death Valley and we took it. A win is a win is a win. And it had been 10 years since we had been in Death Valley, South Carolina, and won. Of that, I am so very thankful. Let's talk about the good things that FSU did. Number one, I want to give a big shout out to Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson made some clutch catches in this game. And I think that those clutch catches were very good for his confidence. Johnny Wilson, you all know within my circle, if you know, you know, Johnny Wilson is one of my favorite Seminoles. He was one of the first big transfers in that we got that we were like, yes, you know, things are starting to turn around. Things are starting to turn around. So Johnny Wilson played a hell of a game. So shouts out to Johnny Wilson. Next, shouts out to Kalen DeLoach. Kalen DeLoach came in with another fumble rooski. Scoop and scores are the lifeblood of FSU versus Clemson in this rivalry. We're always getting a scoop and score. We're always getting a turnover. Dabo Sweeney's running up and down the sideline because he's like, this is the one. This is our fumble rooski. The last time we beat Clemson in Death Valley, Mario Edwards had a strip sack, a scoop and score. So we move. And last and certainly not least, I want to give a shout out to Keon Coleman. That boy's a baller. A catch up top, coverage draped all over you for everything in overtime. That's big time stuff right there. That's big time stuff. It really is FSU Day. All right. So yeah, those are the good things. Our pass rush was. Listen, I'll say this about our pass rush. Our pass rush was great when it needed to be. Okay. No calls went our way, and we'll get to that. We'll talk about the calls. We'll talk about the ACC refs. The bad things I saw from FSU. I don't know how to say this, but our cornerbacks, our defensive secondary is absolutely terrible. And that's something we have to figure out. They were terrible. We couldn't guard a slant throughout this whole game, except for when we needed to. The last play of the game, we guarded a slant. But our cornerbacks, you say they're young, you say they're learning on the fly, say whatever. What I'm seeing on Saturdays is a not very good secondary. People are getting lost in coverage. You know how corners do. They point. Whatever it is, the miscommunication needs to be figured out. Okay? That is our weak point on our team. Another thing that I saw that I did not like for Florida State is the rushing game. I love Jordan Travis. I wouldn't let anyone harm a hair on his head. I love him. But he's got to start keeping on some of these read options because he's reading the defensive end crashing down and he's still handing it off to Trey Benson and he's getting killed right there. Trey Benson has to run harder. He does. There's enough blame to be spread around, okay? Trey Benson has to run the ball, hit the hole hard, 3. You know you got it. We know you got it. We just need you to hit the hole hard. But again, Jordan Travis has got to do himself a favor and get the 8, 10, 12 yards that they're giving him off the read option. The defensive end is crashing down furiously, and Jordan Travis is putting it right in Trey Benson's stomach and getting out of there. Now, I understand he may be hurt and stuff like that, and he's not running like he's used to, but he still manages to get out of the pocket and use his legs a little bit. So that's something that I would like to see. I'll tell you one thing. If we rush for 22 yards against anyone else, we won't win that game, okay? This was one of those ones where we wanted it more. It was a rivalry game, and the chips fell in our favor. Now, we were number 4 in the nation going into this. After we won in Death Valley for the first time in 10 years, we left that week ranked number 5. I don't understand how FSU, the team in college football with the best 2 wins this season, drops after a rivalry win. It's FSU versus the world. You guys really can't hear me. You guys really don't understand that it's FSU versus the world. They were missing calls. The ACC wants us gone. They were missing calls. I was watching one play. They had their arms wrapped around Keon Coleman's neck. You can't do that, right? You can't do that at this level. I watched one play. Will Shipley had a nice run down the sideline, and he got up and he taunted one of our players. I guess you can do that in Clemson. I guess that's in the game. I guess that's part of the game. But actually, it's not part of the game, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and complain about. I'm not the guy that's going to complain about calls. But what I will say is that there are greater forces saying that if there's any game close with FSU, the refs are going to try and swing it against us. This was also a game of 2 different play styles. We had the transfer portal, that's us. We go out and we get kids who are from the transfer portal, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Versus Dabo Swinney, who's homegrown, right? He refuses to use the transfer portal. I tell you what, had you had a few kids from the transfer portal on Saturday, this past Saturday, you maybe win that. Maybe if you had a kicker from the transfer portal, maybe you win that game against us. But we are using the transfer portal. Keon Coleman, transfer portal. Jordan Travis, transfer portal. Trey Benson, transfer portal. You guys get where I'm going with this? We're ready to be good now. We are good now. Clemson is going to have a good team. They have good corners. Their defense is very nice, and I like Cade Klubnik. But we're ready now. It's FSU Day now. That's what we're all in now, okay? What to expect from FSU going forward? I got to be honest, guys. It's time for this team to wake up. All right? We have yet to see FSU play a full 4 quarters. A full 4 quarters. Against LSU, we dominated the 4th quarter. That's a tight ball game through the 3rd quarter. Then in the 4th quarter, we just blew the doors off of them. I mean, Southern Miss, we played around with them a little bit in the first half. We still scored 66 points. Boston College, it was 31-10 at one point. Then that's when the calls came in, right? A win is a win is a win, okay? I'd like to see FSU put together 4 full quarters of football. We don't play this week. I'd like to see us get healthy. A lot of guys out right now. I'd love to see what we can do at full speed, healthy, and playing 4 quarters, all right? I'd also like to see us fix our running game. This is a running theme. See what I did there? Running theme. running game. See, we were so dominant last year because we ran the ball so good. And then we threw it over the top to Johnny. Now we're having to throw it almost 30 to 40 times a game because our running game isn't as effective. We have to shore that up. We have to shore that up. JT's got to keep those on those read options. Watch what I tell you now. Now, newsflash, Nole Knowledge and Nole Nation, we're inactive this week. It's a bye week. We will drop in the AP poll from 5th to 6th. If Notre Dame comes out and plays good, if Ohio State comes out and plays good against whoever they play, if any of these teams come out and play good against who they play, they will drop us. Do you want to know why? Because it's FSU versus everybody. And because we're inactive, they're going to drop us. Okay? Our next game is October 7th against Virginia Tech. We have a 96% probability of winning this game. Don't tell Virginia Tech that, because I guarantee you they're going to come ready to play. Oh, FSU, Rob, you trying to sell us that you guys are going to be in a dogfight with Virginia Tech? Yes, I am. Yes, because we have a tendency to play down to our competition, right? We have a tendency to play down to our competition. If we come in there and we rush for 22 yards again, I guarantee you the Virginia Tech Hokies will be in this game late. I guarantee you that. All right? If we come in there and we start fresh 4 quarters of football with the healthy team, we win this game running away. 3, 4, 5 touchdowns ahead of Virginia Tech because they're not a good team. They're not a good team. All right? We should dominate in every aspect of this football game. They are the lesser opponent. I can't say much on Virginia Tech, but I will say this. FSU is going to be everybody's Super Bowl. I promise you that. Now let's get to the review of the picks from last week. I was wrong. Ohio State stuns Notre Dame at home after Notre Dame lines up 2 consecutive plays with 10 men on the field. For those of you who are casuals, you need 11 guys, okay? And they lined up with 10 twice. The last 2 plays of the game, they did it twice. And OSU shocked them in Big Ben. You don't just go up to Big Ben and get a win. Ohio State did that. I was wrong. I had Colorado beating Oregon. We're not going to do that, okay? Next game. I had Arkansas over LSU. For our sake, everything I do is for FSU. For our sake, I hope LSU runs the table, demolishes the SEC, okay? So that way they'll say, well, man, maybe FSU is pretty, because you guys are trying to crown them again. Oh, that was a fluke. We beat LSU twice in the last 2 years. Not going to go on any more about that. The pick I did get right. FSU over Clemson, 31-24. Last week, I said if I guess the score correctly, I'm not going to say you owe me. But please, act like you know me. I'm going to do my unconquered picks. And we're going to get out of here. All right? My unconquered picks, and we're going to roll out, okay? Friday, we have Utah at Oregon State. I have Oregon State by 3. At home, give me Oregon State by 3. Oregon State by 3. Saturday, we have University of Florida at Kentucky. Give me Kentucky by 7. Florida's last win in Lexington was 2018. Yep, 2018. Give me Kentucky by 7. Okay. Now we have USC versus Colorado in Colorado. Give me the Trojans by 14, by 2 touchdowns. I feel like Caleb Williams would be pulled by that time, and yeah, it's in Colorado too. So I don't know what the sidelines will be looking like. I don't know. LSU versus Ole Miss. I said it a little bit ago, and I'll say it again. I want LSU to beat everybody. All right, because we demolished LSU. So I'm rooting for LSU. All right. LSU versus Ole Miss. This is the game that puts the Rebs out of the top 25. Give me LSU by 14. No, come on. LSU by 7. They're in Oxford. Okay. Number 11, Notre Dame at Duke. Number 17 at 7:30. Primetime game. Duke's used to this in basketball. Football is a different story. All right. Give me the Irish by a field goal. Notre Dame by 3. I highly doubt that brother that coaches Notre Dame will let them go to Duke and if Notre Dame loses this game, he's gone. He'll be out of there. South Carolina versus Tennessee. This is really a pick'em game. If South Carolina comes out and plays like how they did the first half against Georgia, it's going to be a long day for Tennessee. If they come out and play like they did the second half against Georgia, it's going to be a long day for South Carolina. If I had to say which team that I would bet on, Rocky Top. I mean, I would bet Tennessee to beat them by 10. So that's what I'm going to give you. Tennessee by 10. And those are my picks for this week. I don't want to do the whole top 25 because they're playing some duds. I think Georgia plays Auburn. That's a rivalry game. All right, not a rivalry game, SEC game. They're the number 1 team in the nation. They're going to play like the number 1 team in the nation. I think Michigan plays. I forgot who Michigan plays, but they're not ranked. Number 3, Texas plays Kansas. I don't know. So I left those games out. Got a little coaching on that. Leave those games out. Just pick the most salacious games, the best matchups of the week, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call those my unconquered picks. Okay. Go ahead and wrap this thing up. In closing, thoughts on the closing. Okay. If you told me that FSU was 4-0 leaving September after looking at our schedule in its entirety at the beginning of the season, I'd take it. I'd take it in a heartbeat. I would take it. 4-0 leaving September? Of course, every day. If you told me that FSU split between Clemson and LSU, I still take it. So split means we only win one of those games. So we leave September 3-1. I still take that. We won both of those games. Okay? We're undefeated. There are no bad wins. That's the running thing. I don't want to compare this FSU team to the 2014 team because I think the 2014 team was a bit lazy and did just enough to win. And then we went out to Pasadena and got absolutely embarrassed in the second half, right? But I don't want to compare those two teams. I think this team has just yet to put it all together, to just really click and the light bulb comes on. We haven't done that yet. I'm confident that we will. We will peak at the right time. But yeah, this is a very good football team, and there are no bad wins. A word to our fan base. People tell me all the time, you guys should have killed Boston College. Or we should have killed Boston College. Oh, why did you guys let Clemson hang around? Clemson's a tough team. Okay? What happened in Boston College? I mean, okay, what we have to do is be thankful for our season success thus far. I tend to get the feeling sometimes that our fan base, fans, fanatics in our fan base, and I have been one of them. Trust me, I have been one of them. Have been on the side of we could win, we could beat Georgia 3-0, and they would still say, "Why didn't you beat them by more?" So there's no satisfaction. So I'm asking my Nole Knowledge family, my Nole Nation family, be thankful for where we're at. Be thankful for where we're at. There's a lot to clean up, and I feel like Norvell, Mike got us. I always see that hashtag on Twitter, Mike got us. All right? Mike's going to take good care of us. He's going to make sure that everybody comes in as close to as healthy as possible next Saturday. All right? So be thankful for where you're at, okay? A win versus LSU and a win versus Clemson. And we leave in September. Next thing you know, we leave in September 4-0. I'm thankful. There's no excuses. Oh, half the players had the flu up in Boston. We won. Oh, you guys let Jaden Daniels pass for 300. We won. Oh, LSU wasn't ready for that game. We won. Oh, Clemson's kicker was gonna had a job. So do I. I have a job. Oh, you guys should have beat Clemson by more. We won. Forget that excuse, forget that excuse, forget that excuse. We won. All right? And last and certainly not least, it's FSU Day for all you haters out there. Let's go, baby. Audio is just going to get better. Everything's just going to get better. I'm like FSU. I'm getting better every single week. It's part of pre-pro, man. It's what we do. You know what time it is, baby. It's FSU Day.